start with today's session. I'm going to describe about few details regarding reading blanks. I have taken here some passages for reading writing blanks. I always say this thing that whenever you are supposed to do reading blanks, you should take care of three things. In the case when you are not aware of the meaning of any word given in the options for a blank. Number one, grammar. Grammar is the biggest savior. Even you can watch the webinar of role of grammar in throughout your PTE paper. Not only grammar will be helping you to write your answers for your essay, summarize written text, to summarize spoken text, but also grammar plays important role in reading blanks, right from dictation, etc. How it will be helping you here. And second thing is collocations. You must be aware about the usage of collocations. How actually you should be aware about the meaning of collocation. Collocation means co plus location. Any two words which you have to write them always together. Co means together, location means place. Any two words which whose location is always taken together, those are called collocated words. For example, if I say aware of, aware is the form of verb, of is the preposition. You will always, throughout your English, whenever you see the word aware, next word will be of. Now, next question. 80% of your blanks in reading fill in the blanks and reading writing blanks, 80% blanks are covered by your form of verbs. That is why grammar helps. That is why collocations help you. So rest of the 20% will be nouns, adjectives, adverbs, and that's a little bit of information regarding the paragraph. If you try to understand it, you will get to know the word, which word you have to fill there. Whenever you are confused between two words because you think that they are almost similar, they are synonyms of each other, how can I found the correct word then? We'll be telling you the strategies for that too, how you should be working on these things. Second type of collocation is when two words are there. One can be the noun and other can be um, the form of verb. For example, take bath. We never say do bath, have bath, make a mistake. We never say do a mistake because mistake is always made. It's not done. So these are the types and how you will be learning about the collocations. I'm not asking you to learn the 1,000 words collocation list. No, no one can cram it. Then how to deal with it? The more you will be practicing, the more you will be trying to know the extract of each paragraph, that if this word is there, then I would be selecting these kind of words from my options. So let's start with this, the very first paragraph. Side by side I will be covering grammar, collocation and understanding of the paragraphs. Education for global leadership. Okay, fine. I'm not going to read the very first line because it's not having any blank. If I will not be getting the meaning of that statement where I have a blank, so I will be reading the first sentence so that I can just capture some of the words. Understanding. To confront the 21st century challenges to our economy and national security, our education system must be strengthened, have strengthened, or have been strengthening. Now look over this sentence, how it is framed. Our education must be, see, whenever you will be speaking it, automatically your mouth will be uttering that B because education system must be improved, must be strengthened. So I'm getting here only the first, this will be my correct form of verb here. So I'm making it correct. The next, America's continued global leadership will depend on our students' abilities to dash with. Now find a form of verb which will be collocated with the preposition with. Respond to. You always see respond to. Okay, benefit with is fine, but I cannot write here abilities to benefit with this. Abilities to get benefited. And one more, benefit with this and this, our borders, is not making sense. Exchange with, it is fine. We always have exchange with, but I'm not getting the meaning. America's continued global leadership will depend on our students' ability to exchange with world community both and inside and outside. How you can exchange both inside and outside? Again, not making the sense. This is how your grammar understanding of the paragraph will be working. So I'm left with only interact. You'll be interacting with inside and outside of the things. So here my right answer will be interact. Coming to the next. It's very easy one. You can give the answer even for this line. They are true Antarctic birds, rarely dash in the sub-Antarctic waters. What will be the answer here? Are you able to see the shared screen? Yes, answer will be seen. Why seen only? Now see, the sentence is framed in passive form. And in passive form, we always write third form of verb. With our, you'll be finding third form of verb, rarely seen. This is the correct answer. The next, with temperatures as low at minus 50 degrees Celsius and winds dash to 200 kilometers per hour. With to, which word will be suiting here? Very good. Up to. Next. Now start reading it carefully. The paragraph is telling you the female lays a single egg in May, then passes it over to her male to incubate. Incubate means to provide the heat to the laid eggs. Male is doing that part, that job, and she goes to sea to feed. Where is she going? She's going to the sea to feed them up, them all. So which word will be suiting here? Very good. Who has given the answer? Amit. Whilst. Whilst she goes to sea to feed. If I'll be writing here where, okay, where she goes is not making sense. After she goes, not making sense. Before she goes, not making sense. Only I'm left with whilst she will be going to the sea to feed them all. Next. The male balances the egg on his feet, which are with are, you can write gerund, as well as you can write third form of verb. First form plus ing and third form of verb. And I have all the four options in the combination of these two things. But now it is dependent upon the choice. Do I have to select here covering in a thick roll? Covering means right now it is going on. Or protecting means right now it is going on. It is present continuous tense. But we are talking about overall, that how actually the things happen. So I'm left with only third form of verbs. I have third form of verbs. One is protected, other one is covered. Now start reading the line again and getting the meaning of the line. The male balances the egg on his feet, which are dashed in a thick roll of skin and feather, which are protected is not the right word. Very good, Suman. Which are covered in a thick roll. They are not protected in a thick roll. If I need protected word, I need here which are protected by something. It is covered in. With covering, you need in, and in is written there. Which are covered in a thick roll. Something is covered in, you always say, but you never say something is protected in. Protected by. Clear? So I will be choosing here covered. This is the correct answer. Which are covered in a thick roll of skin and feathers. Coming to the next question. Sometimes what happens, you are not aware of what kind of word I have to choose there. Just like in this question, you'll be thinking every option I can fit there. For example, opportunity cost incorporates the dash of scarcity. Scarcity means deficiency of something. Now, the probability of scarcity is not making a little bit sense. Use of scarcity, is it making sense? How can I use of deficiency? Okay, notion of scarcity or ideal of scarcity? Now I'm confused. Okay, I'm keeping this option as it is right now because I'm not getting the meaning from just reading this line. Okay, then no matter what we do, there is always a trade-off. We must trade off one thing for another because resources are limited and can be used in different ways. Okay, fine. After that, for this line, yes, telling me the notion of opportunity cost. And what was here? Opportunity cost. So I got the clue that here I should be choosing notion. And then the notion of opportunity cost allows us to measure this dash. Now, trade or trade off. Now, I will be looking back. I just have read the word trade off. So, we'll be selecting here trade off. Next, most decisions dash several alternatives. Most decisions. What should I write here? Okay. Now look for the understanding of the paragraph. When you are a bit confused, just check in which form of verb your rest of the sentences are formed. They are formed in allows us written present tense, have been used present tenses there, no matter what we do. So every time they are using present tense in passive or active form. Okay, most decisions. Decisions is a noun it is the subject, and it is plural. So put a big cross on all the words which are giving you the clue for past tense. One is were involving, other is involved. So I'm left with only include and involve. Now, most decisions include or involve. Some of you are saying include, some of you are saying involve. Whenever you are confused, just go to the Google Chrome and write here difference between include and involve, so that you can get the meaning. Include, to include something is to make something part of a whole, just like one big pie is there and you are taking a small portion of it. So when you are adding it into back, then it is including. Involve, to involve something to make it part of a situation, not as a part of a whole. For as a necessary part may be to achieve a result. And now coming back, most decisions, and we always take decisions when we have to reach this result, when we have to find the result of something. And that's why which word now I have to fill here? Only the involve. This is how you should differentiate the words for which you are confused. Never ever check their meaning only. Check their meaning with their sentence formation so that you get to know if this is the theme, then I will be using this word. If this is the theme, then I will be using this word. Then next, for example, if you spend an hour studying for an economics exam, you have one fewer hour to dash other activities. I have 1 hour to host other activities. I have 1 hour to launch activities, to change activities, or to pursue other activities. The line is telling me, for example, if you spend an hour for an economics exam, means I spent 1 hour for my studies, and now I'm left with 1 hour to continue with my activities. To continue with something means to pursue. I cannot write here, I'm here going to launch the activities, I'm here going to change the activities. Okay, fine, change can also be there, but it is not making sense if I'll be putting there change. Then next, host, I cannot write here host, we are not hosting any program here. Then next, to dash the opportunity cost of an activity, we'll look at what you consider the best of other activities to raise the opportunity cost, to reduce the opportunity cost. Why we need to reduce the opportunity cost here? See, the paragraph is telling me, okay, forget this. Forget about the paragraph. Just listen to me carefully. You know what? I always believe in this thing that there are two types of things in this whole world. Half of them will be positive and half will be negative. Some of them will be positive, some of them will be negative. And whenever we are, an author is writing any article, the theme of the article will be either throughout positive or throughout negative, or it will be the combination of positive and negative. That is the another issue, that how many percent of it, the paragraph, the article, the author will be writing about positive, and how much part of the paragraph or article the author will be telling you about the negative. So why I'm telling you all these things? Because if you are reading the statements, the sentences, the lines, then you will get to know this thing that do I have to choose positive words or negative words? And in this question, till here, I'm not getting any negative word, then why to choose the negative word here? So clearly, out of 4 options, I'm left with only 3 options. So put a cross on reduce. Reduce is a negative word here. To raise the opportunity cost, to grasp. You cannot grasp the opportunity cost. It's nothing like that through which you can just go and you can just grasp it. Put a cross. To raise the opportunity cost or to determine the opportunity cost. Now I'm confused again. Which word I have to find here? Okay, now see, wait a sec. Here I would be selecting here to raise the opportunity cost of an activity or to determine. Just check what are you doing here. For that, I need to read the next line. We look at what you consider other the best of these other activities. For example, suppose the alternatives to studying economics are studying for a history exam. They are giving you examples. Or working in a job that pays $10 per hour. If you consider studying for history, dash use of your time than working. Just tell me this thing. Are you raising something or are you determining something? Very good, Prajakta. Very good, Tamanna. You are actually here determining the opportunity cost by giving the example. Then, if you consider studying for history, as you are finding the ways to improve the things to determine the cost, a dash use of your time than working. If you consider he's giving you 2 opportunities because we are finding here finding here means determining here the opportunity cost. If you consider studying for history, a better choice as compared to working. I cannot take worse. Worse is a negative word. Worst is a negative word. And best I cannot use. Best we will be choosing. It is a superlative degree. We will be choosing this only when we are comparing one thing with so many things, more than 2 things. And here I'm comparing only studying history or working. So I have only 2 things. So I'll be finding here comparative degree, that is only better. Positive comparative degree, that is better. If you consider studying for history a better use of your time than working, etc. And you are done. Then next, the last tourists may have been leaving the valley, blah blah blah. Okay. But the area in the front of the tomb of Tutankhamun remained far from deserted. Instead of the dash that usually descends on the area in the evening, it was a hive of activity. Now, a little bit confusion is there. Do I have to select here equality, equivalence, instead of the equality? Are we talking about here anything that this or this should be equal? Nothing is written here related to equality, related to equivalence. Put a cross on these 2 words. Now I'm left with only 2 words, peace and tranquility. Now, I'm not aware, suppose, the meaning of tranquility. And peace and tranquility are the same words. If you will be finding their meanings, they will be telling you these are just the some synonyms of each other. Now, how to find the word? As I have gotten the two words which are having their same meaning. You know what? Whenever an author writes something at that time, it actually categorizes its word choice. Please listen to me carefully. Whenever you are stuck with two words which are having the same meaning, how to deal in that case? As I said, when an author is writing an article, is writing a paragraph, at that time it categorizes its word choice. How? Giving one simple example. Combination, collaboration. These are two same words. Their meanings are entirely same, but its usage is completely different. The time I'm using collaboration, at that time I cannot use combination. For example, I'll be using the word collaboration with X and Y collaboration. The company X and Y collaboration. The collaboration of company X and Y. But I cannot say the combination of X and Y company. Because company, it's related to corporate world, business world. A little bit I'll be giving uh, the cost, I'll be giving the percentile, the weight to this side more as compared to the other side, which is occupied by the word combination. For example, I'll be using the word combination, I'll be saying combination of red and green color. Then I cannot say collaboration of red and green color. So this is the actual meaning how you should actually categorize. If the paragraph is having low vocabulary words, so try to choose a low category word. If the paragraph is having high vocabulary words, now here we are talking about Tutankhamun, tomb, and peace and tranquility both are the same words, and you will definitely be finding here that here they're telling you about descends on the area in the evening. It was a hive of activity. TV crews trailed mass of equipment. Journalists milled and photographers held their cameras at the ready. Look at the choice of words. So without thinking more, I'll be selecting here tranquility, not the word peace. Though their meanings are same, but their usage is completely different. While I'll be using the word peace, I'll be finding the words such as war, etc. Coming to the next. The reason for the first time since Howard Carter dashed the tomb in 1922. When the year is mentioned, the mummy of Tutankhamun was being prepared for public display. Name of the scientist is given. Dash, he found it. Is he founding something, the building? Is he showing something? It's not an invention. Already it was there. He just got it in the year 1922. So I'm left with only discovered. Howard Carter discovered the tomb in 1922. The next. The body was then placed on a wooden stretcher and dashed to its new home. Now let's check. It was written here was the sentence is being used here the past tense. In the past tense, and it is written in passive form. So definitely I'll be using here third form. So put a big cross on convey. Now I'm having three form of verbs in third form: commuted, transported, and moved. Which word I have to choose? Okay, first I'll be taking moved. With move, we have seen the word do. Okay, fine. The body was then placed on a wooden stretcher and moved to its new home. Why moved? Moving is just replacing the position for a while. In a second you have replaced, just like in a second he moved away. Means in a second he just went away from that place, but don't know where he or she has gone. The next, commuted or transported. Now you will be thinking, these are actually the same words. Commuting is also going from one place to another. Transporting is also going from one place to another. So which word I have to choose here? Anyone will be telling me? Some of you are saying moved. Sorry, yes. But moved I excluded this one. Very good, Amit. Tamanna, very good. It is transported, not commuted. Reason. Commuted means, now again you are confused. Let's check the meaning. In Google, just write difference between commute and transport. Commute means in a period, commuting means when daily you are doing in a period, say daily I'm commuting to my office. I'm doing that activity on a period, but transported means it is just delivered to that place. That's it. And here I'm not getting any kind of information that it was commuting from one place to another daily or in a week or in a month again and again, back to back. So this is the basic difference between commuted and transported. So I'll be selecting here only transported. The next paragraph and the last one is, over the past 10 years, Australian overseas departures have grown from this to this. This represents strong average annual growth of 6.5%. This paper, dash. Now I have to check here the form. Departures is written, present tense is used here. Represents is written, present tense is used here. So I'll be selecting any form of verb which will be telling me present tense, first form. So put a big cross on encouraged. It's the second form of verb. Now I'm left with analysis, increases or decreases. As we are talking about annual growth, growth is a positive word. I cannot select here decreases. Again, I have to select here positive words, not a negative word. Put a cross on decreases. Then I'm left with this and this. A paper cannot increases outbound travel demand. A paper can only analyze something because the data which will be written on a paper through which you can analyze the figures, you cannot increase some of the amounts. So I'll be selecting here only analyzes. This paper analyzes outbound travel demand to each destination country using the travel demand models of short term. Then next, it's very easy. You all can select it. And overseas and the exchange rate as independent dash. Independent is an adjective. You need here an object, a noun. Yes, variables. It was pretty easy. Then next, the data were obtained from several sources, resources, websites, journals. Now let's check. World Tourism Organization, is it a journal? Is it a website? No, I'm not getting it. So I'm left with two options, that is sources and resources. Could you tell me which word I should fill here? I'll be selecting here sources, not resources. Let's check the difference between sources and resources so that you can get to know. Source is a noun that refers to an origin from which something is obtained. It can refer to a place, person, or thing. Okay, then resource is something that is readily available to use. You just go to the library. The books which are present there, those are not the sources. Those are always be considered as the resources. You remember in some of the write from dictation, you get the word resources, and at that time, next words are like presentation, assignments, or library resources. Whenever you say library sources, this is the basic difference. Source means from where it is actually originating, and resource means you just go and the thing was present there, you just used it. That's it. So here I will be finding several sources such as this. These are the sources. And see, obtain data. With data, obtaining several sources will be there. The next, and the price of domestic travel and accommodation and dash influenced by. Now, positively influenced by, negatively, barely, or hardly. Okay, start reading because through this I'm not getting the meaning. Start reading from here. The number of short term resident departures is positively influenced by, it means they have used positively already, and the price of domestic travel and accommodation, and negatively influenced by the price of travel and accommodation overseas. See, the number of short term resident departures is positively influenced by this and this, and it is negatively influenced by this and this. Turn by turn, I have to go. So we'll be selecting here negatively. And in the last, the forecast suggests that the number of short-term resident departures will increase strongly over the next 10 years, largely due to the strength of the Australian economy, competitive trove prices, and Australians' interest in exploring different cultures, experiencing different cultures, employed different cultures, or experimenting. What do you think? Employed, I cannot write. Employed should be, I should be using when I'll be dealing with the paragraph, job, companies, etc. So now I'm left with interest in exploring cultures and lifestyles, experiencing, or experimenting. Just check the meaning of each and every word and then try to select. Here we are not going to explore something. Just like they are just telling you will increase strongly over the next 10 years, largely due to the strength of the Australian economy. We are here talking about economy, prices, Australians' interests. So I'm not going to explore something here. No doubt, with cultures, you can use exploring, but the line's understanding is not telling me to choose exploring. The next, experiencing or experimenting, I'm left with these two words. Am I going to do any experiment here? Are they telling me about something like that way? No. So I'm left with only experiencing different cultures. Now check the meaning. The number of short-term resident departures. Resident is a noun. It is an object. Object means, sorry, it is here, it is rendered as subject. It is a noun. And residents will be, and they have been, sorry, sorry, they have been experiencing different cultures and lifestyles based upon their interests. So I'm left with experiencing, not experimenting. We are not doing any experiment here. We're not exploring something here. Employed was completely different from all of them. This is how you should go with your reading blanks. See, some of you have opted exploring, but exploring is not. This is how we actually do not. Um, we do not go with the understanding. That is why, in the starting of the webinar, I said three things are very important: collocation, grammar usage, and your understanding. With the combination of these three things, you can easily get to know about the words, which word I have to fill. If there could be 20 blanks in your paper for reading, writing, at least you would be able to find 17, 18 out of them if you will be studying with these methods. This was all about for today's webinar. We'll meet next week, next Saturday at sharp 9 a.m. We'll be delivering one more topic related to your PTE queries.